Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I know the question that many of you are asking. Is it ever going to happen? Is XRP ever going to rocket to the upside? Do we finally see that now? Or what we've been seeing for the past month or so, has it just been some big fake out? XRP running from about 38 cents up to, what, close to 66 cents? Was it all just a big nothing? Well, if you watched my video from yesterday, then you may have noticed that I was highlighting that there are multiple analysts warning that even though on a higher time frame, just meaning big picture, yes, this market cycle XRP will still hit new all-time highs. Over the lower time frame, so sooner than later, there is a reasonable chance, a very probable chance, said multiple chart analysts, that we could be seeing a pullback, especially if it's led by Bitcoin. And wouldn't you know it, to this point, that's been exactly what we've seen. So is the pain over yet? Not necessarily. So just additional warning here, and this, again, this doesn't change anything big picture. This isn't something that should be found to be scary in my humble opinion. But if some of these analysts are correct, you're going to need to see a little bit more pain led by Bitcoin, actually, before XRP actually takes off. And so when XRP did break out the other day of a particular range, it was short-lived. That, a couple of analysts I'll show you later in the video say, yeah, that part basically was a fake out, but that doesn't change anything big picture. It's not something to be feared. This stuff just happens. So, big question, is there going to be expansion of the markets? Are we going to have a proper alt season? I'm still counting on yes. So plenty to run through here, and I've got perspective from 9 different XRP chart analysts, commentary and analysis. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this video, it is 5:36 p.m. Central Time, Thursday, August 1st, 2024. XRP is 59.9 cents, and it's been volatile recently, getting as low within the last 24 hours as low as 57.3 cents. And as high as just the other day, close to 66 cents. Bitcoin, kind of similar story. It's been a bit volatile here. It's at 65,570 bucks, but did get as low today, just a few hours ago, got as low as 62,488 bucks. Now, considering that just a few days ago on July 29th, it was knocking on 70,000's door, you know, from 70 to 62, that's a pretty precipitous drop. That's pretty notable. It scared some people. The whole market moved, including XRP. And for much of the last few weeks, XRP, as the market has dipped, didn't really respond a whole lot, but this time it actually did. So perhaps that just means that it's not quite time for XRP yet, but man, it's been showing some strength. Dead coins don't do that, okay? Dead coins don't act the way that XRP has in the last few weeks, but it doesn't mean that it will forever no longer correlate with downward price action for the rest of the market. That's not a reasonable thing to expect from it, and history tells us we should expect that most of the time, XRP will move in tandem with the market. And I understand that means for long periods of time it'll turn sideways or downwards, but then eventually you do get these big bursts. And that's almost 0% of the days that XRP has existed where will you get those huge bursts. And so when they happen, and it's exceedingly rare, the same is true for stocks. Most of the time you don't get the biggest of bursts. They're not happening on any given day. And either you have exposure to the asset or the stock in question. In this case, we're talking about XRP. Either you have exposure when that happens or you don't. Which is why I love my strategy of buying stuff and then literally doing nothing for years on end. Because either I figured, like when I jumped in 2017, either I'm right and the crypto pie gets bigger and I have sufficient exposure and I make it like a metric F-word ton of money, or I'm wrong and it goes to zero, in which case, too bad, so sad for me, I guess. I mean, it's risky investing in anything, but the crypto pie has just been getting bigger, and I do have broad exposure. And XRP happens to be my favorite crypto, my largest individual holding, but that's why the approach works. It works in the stock market, and it works in crypto. If the pie gets bigger, it gets bigger, and either you have exposure or you don't. People need to worry less and be stressed less about what's happening over the short term. Don't be flying by the seat of your pants. The things... Can you imagine, like, what do you think this asset class is going to look like another decade from now in terms of breadth and in terms of size, market cap? What we're going through right now, and I understand some people feeling some negative emotions here. Fast forward a decade, you're going to be sitting around looking back like, oh yeah, way bigger. So are you going to ruin it for yourself or are you not? Because either you have exposure when this happens or you don't. But still, people not feeling so hot, feeling less confident than the other day. Crypto Fear and Greed Index at 52 out of 100. It doesn't update for another hour and 20 minutes, and it updates just once every 24 hours, but people feeling a bit neutral right now. Won't be surprised to see that going down. And here's the narrative that's being attributed to risk on assets going down. So this is from ABC News. So they're talking about the stock market, but crypto asset class, risk on assets, they get treated typically very similarly. And so crypto and the stock market, notable drops today. The headline is, Stock Market Today, Worries About the Economy Hit Wall Street, and the Dow drops nearly 500 points. I'm going to cover just a small part of this. Just a day after rallying on hopes that the Federal Reserve is about to cut interest rates, U.S. stocks tumbled Thursday after weak data raised worries the Fed may have missed its window to do so before undercutting the economy's growth. The S&P 500 sank 1.4% after a report showed U.S. manufacturing activity is still shrinking, and its contraction is accelerating. Manufacturing has been one of the areas of the economy hurt most by high rates, and the report from the Institute for Supply Management helped extinguish what had been gains for the U.S. stock indexes early in the morning. And so it went down, pick an index, they're down. S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, Dow Jones, not looking so hot. Russell 2000, not looking so hot. But it was everything moving down all at once, and crypto moved basically at the same time. Well, how about that? But see, the thing is, and look, I'll even give this, even if this is actually why the market did what it did, if it weren't this, it would have been something else, because the markets just don't go up in a straight line. And I think most of the time, when there is notable movement like this, whatever's happening in the moment just gets slapped on there. That's the reason. And so I'll just say, even if this is correct, as it pertains to crypto, at least, there's a broad expectation that this was going to be happening anyway. But is it going to matter big picture? Well, take a look at this post from Chart Analyst Mustache. He shared this with his 129,800 followers on X. Hashtag altcoins. It's finally happened. A golden cross / bullish cross in the monthly chart of the total market caps. That's the entire crypto asset class. This is another huge signal, in my opinion. Last time we saw something like this was in 2020, and that was also the start of the most exciting part of the whole cycle. Ah, yes, and I remember being around here at that part where I'm circling right here. You can see where he charted it. I remember being at that part of the cycle in 2020. Summer wasn't so hot. That wasn't fun. Obviously, and he cited here the COVID crash of March. My God, that's when XRP cratered down to 10 cents. Whew. I held through that. I sure as hell ain't going to sell now. I'll tell you that. That's the lowest point that I've ever held XRP, was when that crash happened March of 2020. And as it was crashing, I bought more. I couldn't catch the bottom because that's unrealistic to expect anyway, but I was able to purchase XRP as low as 15 cents. That's the cheapest I've bought it in my entire life. But anyway, yeah, I remember when he's talking about the later part of 2020, and things just started ramping up. Or he's just saying, if you look at this particular metric, that's the moment we're in now, 4 years later. So take it for what it's worth. We'll see what happens here, but there are a lot of metrics indicating perhaps the best is yet ahead for this market cycle. And if that happens, and it's led by Bitcoin especially, alt season, here we come. It's just a matter of time. And part of the reason that I have peace is, even if the most negative of bears is correct, and I don't believe this is plausible, not really. I think it's highly unlikely. Even if the bears are correct and we go into a bear market, well, okay, then I'll wait around for a few years. Eventually the market comes back, and then I still get my money then. I don't need it right this second. When I invest into the stock market and crypto, it's because I don't need that money anytime soon. And particularly when I invest into crypto, just in case I'm wrong, and everything does go to zero, or I get hacked or something somehow, then I'm still going to be fine. I've invested in such a way that the rest of my investments, I'm still going to be fine as it pertains to retirement. So it doesn't matter. And if you just take a long-term approach like that, and you just understand that you are not in charge, you're just along for the ride, if you accept it, you can really find peace with that. And I think that that's the right way to do it, because, like I said earlier, flying by the seat of your pants and just whatever's happening in the moment, you're going to feel emotions because of it. That is no way to live. That is no way to invest. Especially if you're going to be paying attention to it on a regular basis. Like, if you're hyper interested in crypto like I am, because I love to track this stuff every day and I spend hours on it, just because it's fun. I just enjoy seeing what's going on in the news and what people are talking about, seeing what the chart guys are talking about. The only way to maintain sanity, if you're going to be like that, is to let it go because you are not in charge. Just accept it and understand it's okay. And if you're right that the crypto pie gets bigger and you have sufficient exposure, then what the hell's the problem anyway? It just doesn't make sense to be stressing about this. That's why it's easy for me to be at peace with all of this. I've been in this for almost 7 years and I've never cashed out to United States dollars. Why? Because I don't need it. I'll do it when I'm sufficiently enticed, when it's a big enough outsized, crazy outsized portion of my net worth, and finally, yes, I'll sell. Fine. But I'm happy to wait. I just don't need it now. And in the meantime, I'm happily living life as normal. There's no problems here. Here's a post from Credible Crypto. This is from just this morning. I don't need to read the thing, but he was just noting that, he explained, as far as Bitcoin's concerned, correction at $69,000. That's what he was expecting. And at the time he posted this, it was about 10% lower. And it's come up a little bit since then. But this was to be expected. And if you want the explanation of why, don't go track him. I don't want to regurgitate a bunch of technical analysis. I like to highlight what a bunch of analysts are saying because I really do firmly believe that you can glean some useful information just by looking collectively at what reputable analysts are saying. They're not all always going to perfectly agree, but when they almost all do, that's when I really take note. That's why this is useful. That's why I'm not a chart analyst, but I am a chart analyst. I analyze the chart analyst, and I'm the best out there. The best in the biz. There's this post also from Credible Crypto, and this is from just, about an hour and a half ago, 4:13 p.m. He said, I don't think this correction is over yet, but I do think we may be in for some relief. Ideal scenario below. We'll get more clarity as further price action develops. And so you can see what he's calling for here. And directionally, we've been doing this in recent hours, but he's talking about XRP in the coming days getting up to maybe, or not XRP, I'm sorry, Bitcoin getting up to maybe somewhere around $68,000, but then plummeting perhaps into the mid 50s, so around 56,000 or so, somewhere around there. So just, if that happens, don't be afraid. This is normal. Nothing goes up in a straight line forever. This is the market testing you. This is what it will do. So he still stands firm that, yeah, of course this happens. And I've been through this so many times. It's a big nothing. I'm wording it like this because I know that there are always new people coming on board. This is normal. You should expect these things to happen. But on a higher time frame, big picture, he still insists, no, we're going to new all-time highs. Bitcoin to over 100,000, XRP to over 10,000. He's still very firm on that. Nothing has changed in that regard. There's also this post, and this is from a couple days ago, and I just wanted to mention this, again, in case you missed it, because he's actually been talking about this for the last couple of weeks, just about. He was warning XRP could dip, and we have seen a bit of a dip now. XRP, again, getting it down to about 57 cents today. But before it got up to its recent high of close to 66 cents, he's like, yeah, it's probably going to go a little higher before dipping back down. And he's just saying nothing has changed. If it does go lower and you get XRP anywhere even close to 50 cents, he's going to buy a ton of it. He's made that very clear. I also came across this headline from the Crypto Basic. Expert says no worries if you missed a good entry on XRP. More chances ahead before surge toward $1. Now, I'm not going to read the article. It's not necessary, but I want to make a point. They shared perspective from an analyst named Trader Fred, who I'm not familiar with. Not that that necessarily matters, but I just like to mention it because I mostly highlight analysts that I have some sort of track record with. And if somebody's new to me, I do like to mention it just for the sake of it. But it was interesting. And the reason I wanted to highlight this is because even though I'm not familiar with this analyst, what they're saying is perfectly in line with what I'm seeing a ton of XRP chart analysts state. Look, here's what he wrote. Shorting XRP here before the next impulse leg up, manage your risks. And so he posted that, mind you, yesterday. So he was anticipating XRP would go down. At least to this point, it most certainly has. But the point is, and as many analysts, I was warning you literally yesterday, lots of analysts felt this way. XRP, yeah, probably going to go back down, but then major impulse to the upside. And you can see he's pointing up here towards over $1. So it doesn't mean that he's overall bearish on XRP. And I don't know anything else about him, but it's very clear. He stated it right there. An impulsive move to the upside will follow. That's what he believes. Here's a post from on-chain analytics firm Santiment, and I got to highlight, I'm very thrilled to highlight this actually, because this is not data that you would see from a dead coin, period. Okay, take a look at this from Santiment. XRP Ledger, among one of the best performers in July, has been powered by high on-chain activity. Major whale transaction levels and network growth helped propel the coin's plus 35% month, and social dominance is now sky high as the asset has mildly retraced. And so this most recent pullback, they're just calling, yeah, it's just a little mildly. Some people still freak out because people are so battered that have been holding XRP for years. I mean, I'm not, but so many people are. So look at this though. So they highlighted a few different things. Look at the chart. July 17th through 23rd, 4,727 $100,000 plus XRP ledger whale transactions. Here they highlight from July 24th through the 30th, 9,482 new XRP ledger wallets created. I'm sorry, this is a dead chain, dead coin, dino coin, all that crap. Who's doing this then? Who's making this stuff? It's all dead. It's all going to zero. It's never going to have a new high ever again. And why do you think the world is disagreeing, though? Because this is the world disagreeing with that sentiment. This wouldn't be happening if that were true. And this one was incredibly fascinating, too. July 31st to present. 2.59% of all tracked crypto discussions are related to XRP and the XRP ledger. That is insane! What is XRP's dominance? I didn't check today. Actually I did see. I just didn't commit it to memory, but I think it's a little under, 1.5%. That was a big jump up because it was close to 1% not long ago, just weeks ago. So that's the dominance, but then you look at all discussion at 2.59%. Out of all of crypto, 2. Now, you may think 2, well, that's a small number. Okay, but there's over 20,000 freaking cryptocurrencies. There's over 20,000 of them, and XRP has 2.59% of all tracked crypto discussions. It's XRP, XRP, but it's a dead coin, right? It's never gonna run, right? That's what biased people will tell you. And fine, like I admit I'm biased too, but there are some people that are biased in such a way that they just hate it, so they won't be intellectually honest about the analysis. So just be careful. Here's a post from chart analyst Crypto Michael. Decent pullback across the entire market. Things change fast in crypto. A few days ago, most were euphoric. Today, most are panic selling. I believe we get some nice moves this month. There will be plenty of opportunities. Ah, yes. And indeed, things do change quickly. They're not going to stay where they are now. On the whole, we just keep trending to the upside, certainly. But people going people. People are definitely going people, and they're freaking out in the short term. But should they? Well, Crypto Michael doesn't think so. He said here in a separate post, soon they will be begging for a dip to buy. #XRP. And that is how it always goes. The smart people and the people who can control themselves, they buy when markets look not so hot price-wise against fiat currency. And then as it goes to the upside, that's when all the idiots jump in. And maybe they're not stupid. They could just be new to markets, in which case, good luck. If you're brand new and you're just making financial decisions, good luck. But that's a steep learning curve. But as far as the behavior, he's right. It just is what it is. When the price jumps up, that's when people jump in, and people will be begging for a dip to buy it lower. Now, of course, the truth also is, if that dip presents itself, then the people that say they want the dip, they're too afraid to buy it. That happens all the time, too. Then there was this post. So when's it going to go? Well, Crypto Michael, and look, I get a little nervous for the analysts when they put out a timeline, but I'm just going to share what they're saying. A lot of analysts do the timeline thing. And look, if they speak broadly, I guess, and they acknowledge, hey, nobody can sufficiently accurately nail this stuff all the time, but if you really want to twist my arm, here's my best guess. I'm okay with it. I understand that. There's some where it gets so precise where I'm like it's going to happen today or tomorrow. I'm like, you sure, bro? Okay. But anyway, so he says here, and he could be right, he says, I'm expecting XRP to break out in August. Well, we're going to find out. We're at the beginning of August. By the end of the month, we'll know if that's correct. And look, we're in a bull market. It could happen at any moment. I don't pretend to know when it's going to happen, but I'm optimistic. Yes, we see expansion of the market, and XRP will be a part of that. There's also this post, and this is from this morning from Crypto Michael. XRP still hasn't broken the 7-year pennant resistance despite what many others are saying. I expect it to break out at some point this month. If you get a dip, it is for buying, in my opinion. All right, so I was partially mentioning this a little bit, actually way earlier in the video, as far as what a few analysts have charted and noting that it's broken out of the pennant. Has it actually? Well, it looked like it was. It was above a particular range, but then it came back on down. And the next one, Charting Guy talks about this. It may not be this exact post, but I do have it pulled up for this video. I know that because he was talking about it. But anyway, the point is, it came back down, and so it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It just means not yet, because we're still a little bit out from the apex of that particular pennant. The way that it's drawn by Crypto Michael and Charting Guy I've seen, not at the apex. And so usually, yes, I understand that. I'm not a chart guy, but I know this. Typically, a breakout's going to occur before you hit the actual apex, so it still would be sooner than later regardless. Charting Guy posted the following: Fed rate cut, Bitcoin price discovery, Ripple lawsuit ending, all probably happening within the same few weeks. Everything I'm looking at says late September. Fed rate cut expected September 18th. Post having chop lasts 160 days, so roughly that's September 26th. XRP doesn't break out until Bitcoin price discovery. Okay, so I don't buy into the halving stuff, but everybody's entitled to their opinion. I just think I've seen enough data to show that it looks like, although there is some correlation with the halving, it looks more so that it lines up properly with liquidity cycles, and so I find that data to be more compelling, but is what it is. And so, yeah, when Bitcoin breaks up, a lot of people think that that's when altcoins really go in general. So it's nice to see XRP having strength over the last month, but the first mega burst, we haven't even seen that yet. So if you've been having fun the last couple of weeks, ain't nothing. Like it's still coming. Lots to look forward to. And as far as the Ripple lawsuit ending, yeah, it could make the price go up. It just won't be rational if it happens. I've said my piece on that in a number of videos. But and then as far as the Fed rate cut, sometimes there has been a Fed rate cut and everything's been fine. The market hasn't ended up cratering shortly after, but a lot of times it does. So either the point, what's more important though is the market views rate cuts as positive. Whether they're right or wrong, that's how the market views this. Here's another one from Charting Guy. He said XRP 2017 fractal update, realigned to fit in the early July shakeout. I originally thought that the dip part of the fractal was April. That's why I had the summer as a breakout. But it seems to line up much better with early July dip. So now I'd say breakout around September. And so you may recall a few months ago, and I highlighted this on the channel, and this is why, when people start talking about their expectations in terms of timeline for things going, I'm like, okay, it's impossible to consistently call that. So he was thinking that it was probably going to happen by the end of July. And now he says, hey, if I've got some new data based on the way that the chart has played out to this point, and now based on what he's seeing, he thinks that it's going to be a little bit longer. Okay, that's fine. So talking about by what do you say you're good? September? Well, we're going to find out. To me, like, regardless of the time, like, to me, that's why I'll just say it one more time. Sorry if it's broken record territory, but this is why I love my approach. The time doesn't matter. I will out-patient anyone out there. I will be more patient. That's how I win. That's how I win in the stock market. That's how I win in crypto. Broad exposure in both asset classes and hold longer than anyone else is willing to, and only sell if I'm sufficiently enticed to do so. That's it. So whenever it happens, it happens. But I do buy into the idea, even though as far as the time arguments, I've said my piece on that. Even though I think it is notoriously impossible to consistently predict time, I do buy into the idea that if an analyst is properly analyzing a chart structure as it is reaching, in this case, you can see the apex here towards the right, you can just see that most of what would need to play out has played out. That part I buy into. But is the cycle going to speed up or slow down a little bit? Well, you don't know that. So you don't know exactly when it's finally going to break. But yes, I buy into the concept. So when they're calling for these months, I don't think it's crazy. It's risky because people, when it doesn't pass, they're going to give you crap about it. So in that sense, it's risky. But I don't think it's crazy. It's not even particularly unreasonable, given that we are at this point in the bull structure, and this is what the chart looks like for XRP. It's not like it's crazy or anything. I just thought I'd share some thoughts on it, but yeah. Here's XRP chart analyst Dr. Magic. He says, it has to bounce here to not invalidate the vertical accumulation idea, but you get the picture on what I mean, that if this holds, it's bullish AF. XRP now, Bitcoin last November. Now, I shared this post in my last video. When was that? Like 15 hours ago, 16 hours ago, whatever it was. And so this is XRP up to that point. He posted it 11:58 p.m. July 31st. So not that long ago. And then he shared So is the XRP chart. And then he has the Bitcoin chart here. And he was just noting that it's the same type of formation here for Bitcoin last November as to what XRP is doing now. He says, but we would need to see some sort of continuation. But have we? Well, he says no. So here's the most recent update on that. This is from 12:37 p.m. He says, the idea of the post below, so the one I just shared with you, got invalidated for now. We could build up liquidity again as we took a bunch of the lows. Good news is that open interest returned to the baseline, and now it's much healthier. More chop ahead and then higher. And so that is something that I continue to see, even for the analysts that say we really could be moving to the downside, or now that we've moved down even a little bit, there could be some more. Either way, what I keep seeing again and again and again, even if there's chop, blast off to the upside, eventually nothing changes. And XRP is showing very clear signs of life. Despite the very clear signs of life, you still have the curmudgeons out there, the stick in the mud. Here's very famous chart analyst Peter Brandt, 732,000 followers, and I'd say pretty well deserved. He's very famous in the world of crypto for calling the top of the market in late 2017. He called Bitcoin's peak close to 20 grand. He also called the bottom a year later. I believe the actual bottom, I'm pretty sure it was December 15th, 2018, when Bitcoin got down to about, what, $3,200. He called that as well. And he's been a trader literally for over 5 decades. This guy has experience and he's good at it. Now, what's interesting is he's another great example of XRP derangement syndrome, because even though he's good and he deserves a big following because he's so consistently, he's way more right than wrong, he's notoriously incorrect when it comes to XRP. Now, it shouldn't surprise you if you understand his track record, because he has been calling XRP a scam and Ripple a terrible company, and they're out to just enrich themselves and that whole thing. It's all just a scam coin. So he has this very strong negative bias, and that results in him being incapable of properly charting XRP. Anything XRP. Like, his bias is very clearly seeping in to what he says about potential price action for XRP. How can he be so frequently correct about Bitcoin and everything else, and so consistently wrong about 100% of the time when it comes to anything XRP related? So you can't trust him on that. But it still makes me chuckle, so I wanted to share it. So here's Peter Brad. He says, and this is from this morning, this chart pattern is a multi-year complex head and shoulders. If this chart penetrates the lower support line, then all X accounts with XRP initials attached will slowly disappear to never again be seen again, which is redundant. He used again twice, but and it's an XRP BTC chart. Now, we know, based on history, that the moments when XRP is priced so poorly against Bitcoin, those are the moments when it blasts off. And he knows this. He's good at charting. He's been doing it for over half a century. Okay, he knows this. He won't apply that logic to XRP. He won't do it. He just won't do it. And it cracks me up. He hates it so much that he won't be intellectually honest. Does he just not know that the bias is seeping in like this? Is he just seeing what he wants to see? I don't know for sure if he's lying, but he sure as hell is wrong. Can't trust this crap. This is hilarious. So anyway, I bookmarked that. That's in my future dunks tab right now. That's where that is sitting right now. Here's a post from Nick, Crypto Crusader. We got close to that 70-cent range on XRP, and now it's time for those lows to be run. All the bulls were calling me crazy for saying 44 to 51 cents was going to be targeted. The entire timeline was peak bullish while Bitcoin was bearish. It's not XRP's time yet. And so he is another one of those analysts warning we could see, and we still could see, move to the downside. I'm just saying it doesn't really matter, even if we do. Here's a post from chart analyst Dark Defender. Hi all. We have completed our first goal of 39.17 cents to 66 cents, one of the strongest Fibonacci levels that XRP has ever had. So congrats to those who made it. We have just started the next move. Here, I'll make the chart full screen. We've just started the next move and nothing has changed. XRP is preparing to equalize this level shortly by touching the $1 level first. It is more evident that XRP's move was highly bullish, and I will share this bullish momentum with you on my, and then link in bio, not financial advice. So he was saying that, and he has been talking about these levels for some time. He's saying this is all expected. Count on $1 sooner than later, effectively. That's what he's arguing here. So yes, I will continue to sit tight. What are you going to do? You feel free to let me know in the comment section below, but I'm going to be more patient than all of you. I'm stubborn, damn it. No, I know a lot of you have the same sentiment, though, but that really is what it takes when it comes to investing. You just have to have that mental fortitude. And what makes it reasonable to have the confidence that I have is being sufficiently familiar with the asset class and certain things about various cryptocurrencies. And I'm not an expert. I don't pretend to be. I am just a dude on the internet, but that's the cool thing. Regular people like me and you, we can do this. And mostly it requires, in my estimation, it really does require, after you buy stuff, just being hands off. But isn't that a cool and empowering message? I think so. Like, I've been doing it for almost 7 years, and yeah, I haven't sold, but my God, it's worth way more than when I jumped in. Way more. It doesn't mean I'm up on literally everything. But isn't that empowering? I find like the everyday person, the fact that the everyday person, you and me, we can do this, that's incredible. At the advent of the crypto asset class, it's been around just 15 years, and we live in this time where we can actually make this a reality. Because eventually this asset class is going to mature, and it's going to be just as boring buying crypto as it is to buy precious metals. But we're nowhere near that. What an incredible time to be alive. It's so important. We can all do this. We just have to control ourselves. And we have to be patient. Because we can't choose that. We can't choose when XRP goes or Bitcoin goes or anything. We didn't get to choose whether or not the SEC attacked XRP holders by suing Ripple. Like, we didn't get to choose any of that. We're just here. We're along for the ride. Whatever happens, happens. And either you get shaken out or you don't, but I'm not going to get shaken out. So I will be here as long as it takes, period. And either I'm right and XRP hits a new all-time high in interest price discovery at some unknown point in the future, or I'm wrong and it goes to zero. But I'm going to find out. It could be either. But I think I deserve the conviction that I have, as evidenced by increased expansion that's been occurring for the entire crypto asset class and XRP specifically, even in very recent times, as I've highlighted in this video. We should be very excited to be here right now. I sure as hell am. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.